All right, guys. Well, here we go once again. We're honored to have
I am psyched right now.
the one and only Van Styles here,
What's going on, guys?
along with Roger Bagley and me, C-Rob Crob.
Crob.
Dude, thanks for coming, dude.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I've seen the first few episodes and huge fan.
I think you're the first non-pro skater on the
Look,
show.
Groundbreaking right here.
Dude, groundbreaking. That's
Yeah.
one of my favorite
Opening
lines.
up the audience.
Yeah. You used to be a sponsored skater.
Yeah.
You skated for
Status.
Status.
Yeah.
How was that? Because you're from Simi Valley.
No,
originally.
San Fernando Valley.
San Fernando.
Yeah.
Same thing, right?
No,
Fucking-
no, that's, that's a thin line you're crossing right there.
I know.
Yeah, no, I rode for Status. I mean, had a couple of random sponsors. Tracker, DVS started in the Valley, so
That's
got
right.
flowed by DVS.
Sick. Yeah.
Yeah, 118 board shop. I don't know if you remember.
Totally. Yeah. They were kind of my little. Well, I skated for Val Surf. So
I skated for Valsurf too when I was young, like
Yeah.
14.
yeah.
And then I got kicked off the team by Victor Vasquez.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I gotta have a talk with Vic.
At the time, the crew that was there, like I was just the outsider. I lived in Chatsworth. They were all North Hollywood, Studio City guys.
You
And like
weren't
I wasn't part of it. You
Yeah.
know, I was a different breed, I guess, from them. And I guess they're like, he has to be off. And Victor at 14 kicked me off, like worst thing in the world for me.
Dude.
And then, but it was
At
like
14?
Yeah,
You were
14.
oh
like,
my
that's a
God.
tough thing for a 14-year-old to
Yeah.
take.
It's
And
probably like your first first
I loved
sponsor,
it, yeah.
right?
Jason Calloway put me on, actually, when I was, like, summer of 8th grade. He put me on.
Right.
And then, like, I think a year later is when Vic came in. And then these guys were like, hey, we want this to be a certain thing. And, like, he doesn't fit with our stuff. And
Oh, come
so,
on, man.
but it was actually rad because Vic apologized about it, like, later on. Like, hey, like, I'm sorry. And I was like, dude, like,
fucked
that's
up.
so past, like... I don't care. At the time, I was bummed, but like whatever, you move on.
Right.
It's like obviously life happens. You don't stay in skating. You move on and this and that. And when I did a collab with Leica, he was just like laughing. He's like, "Look, like you have a shoe on our shelf in here now, and like everyone else is doing regular life stuff." And it's like that was a very humbling moment.
Totally.
To hear that from him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So San Fernando Valley. Where is that in relation to Simi Valley? Is it a bordering?
So I grew up in Chatsworth, which is like
Okay, yeah.
the last stretch of San Fernando Valley before Simi Valley.
Okay. Off the 118.
Off the 118.
Right.
I mean, obviously, like, Weston grew up in the Valley,
Yeah,
Jerron in the
right.
Valley.
Yeah.
Then you have Paul and...
Mike Moe and...
Mike Mo's Simi Valley.
Oh,
Hey,
sorry.
hey.
Once again, I apologize.
Crossing that thin line
I
again.
know. I don't know my fucking geographic fucking
Careful,
things.
Yeah, so grew up over there. Started skating in 92 and was that pivotal point in a young man's life. You find a skateboard and it's everything.
Yeah.
You hate team sports. And,
Yeah.
especially that era of skating was really rad. Like, to grow up when it's like the total outlandish thing. It wasn't cool. It wasn't anything. And...
Totally.
it just
Yeah.
consumed me. So, from 12 to, mid-20s was like everything.
So how did you get on Status?
I mean, it was just the old school way of sending
Yeah.
out sponsor me
Sending out a sponsor me tape,
I mean,
yeah.
like, I seen the lives or the fun that people who were skating were having and they were sponsored. It was like, yo, like, I want that. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
Right.
you kind of commit so much time, effort into something. You're like, it'd be great if this works out as,
Or at least get some free boards or
Yeah.
something to support me as I go along, right?
yeah. So it was like, I think it was DNA and the Status was just starting. And so they were putting together a team. And it was like really funny looking back. It's like an all-am team, but everyone was like over 18 years old.
Was it like
it's
1999 or something?
yeah, 99, 2000.
Was that what Robbie McKinley skated for? Did he skate for Status?
No, he
No.
definitely didn't.
Society Dogs?
Society. That's
Society,
right.
I
That's
remember
right.
that.
Yeah.
Brian Kenrich.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, this was like Dustin Charlton. I don't know if you remember
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Yeah, who
Totally.
was the original team back then for Status? Justin
Nick
Page?
Geese, who was from Ohio and like kind of down with the alien guys. Rod James, who's from San Diego.
Oh, Rod
myself, Dustin Charlton, and then Jim Bates. Yeah, so I think it was like there might have been one extra person, but I think it was like pretty much that crew was like the original guys. And
So how long did you ride for Status?
I think it was like a year, 2 years or something. We did a big summer tour that was for like 3 months, driving cross country.
Sick.
And I remember like I didn't get along. Maybe I was a dick when I was a kid. I didn't get along with any of those dudes, and they were like, "Yeah, like you got to go." So I was like, "Okay." So we were in Chicago, and I had to like catch a flight back. Like
They kicked you off.
yeah,
In
mid-tour-
Chicago?
Yeah, mid tour.
you had to fly home without a sponsor.
Yeah, and luckily my mom's a flight attendant, so she got me a buddy pass thing.
They wouldn't even give you a fucking ticket home?
No.
Who the fuck are these guys?
Who was the team manager then?
Okay.
I think Rob Mertz maybe might have been team managing or something.
Right.
Like it was like it was something like that, but it was just very like, okay, like I'm out. Peace.
That's fucking crazy.
That's
Come
fucked.
on, dude.
But it's a harsh reality of skateboarding. Like,
No,
you
but
know?
at least have the decency to fucking give me a flight home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or throw you on a Greyhound.
Some type of transportation
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that before. So life lesson. So after that, you became nice.
Yeah,
And,
well, I mean, I think as a youngster, you know, you do a lot of things and you don't realize maybe you're pissing people off, and
Totally.
you know, it
Yeah.
happens. But it's like it was very. I had my humbling moments. Like,
How do you think you pissed him off though? You just being
I don't know.
Like, being honest?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I skated.
Because Status
you know.
sucked. Like, from my opinion, that company was garbage.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't anything. I think we're.
Dude,
I
what
think
are you, he's fucking.
No,
I mean,
no,
even though they kicked
it
him off,
was.
he's sitting right here. What are you doing? Like, come on.
I think everyone was hyped on that team. Was pretty much just hyped to be getting free shit.
Yeah.
Like that's just what it was. Like anyone probably would have taken a better opportunity if it was there.
Totally.
But we were just like, fuck it. We're getting, you know, we had FKD, we had this, we had that. We're getting free boards, and that's great.
Yeah, free boards aside, which is rad, but I
Yeah.
mean, like, you were doing it. You were on tour and fucking, yeah, cool. Like, you're in the van and all. So you drove cross country, though.
Yeah, I think
so
we
then,
started from LA, went all the way through the South, Florida, made it up to New York. From New York, cut through, then we made it to Chicago. And I guess for whatever reason, they were just like,
cannot.
we're over this
fuck-
guy.
I cannot fucking believe that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but everything works out for one reason or another, and that's how I feel about life.
Well, you
so.
should do a collab with them now. Is that?
I think Status has been non-existent for the.
Oh yeah. My bad.
Yeah.
They went out
Well,
of business for a reason.
How? Yeah. How? So after you got kicked off and had to fly yourself home, how long did Status last after that?
Not that much longer.
Good.
Like I think it was a couple years. I think, you know, like I just think the program that they had, like looking back, it's like great. Let's take advantage of some hungry kids who want to be hooked up. No one's gonna be pro. It's an AM company.
Right.
We don't have to pay anyone.
Yeah.
You know, and I think a lot of those dudes bounced because they were like, after a while, it's like we're doing all this work, we're not getting paid. Like,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
I guess Syndrome back then was kind of a newish
Well,
thing,
this
right?
was
They
another
didn't
thing, 'cause
really-
they-
no, they've been around for. They were still.
Well, they did Zorlak.
Yeah.
For a while. They
Rod
were doing
Mertz has been in the game
Oh.
forever.
They were doing Zorlak for a while.
Okay.
You know,
unit
they had
trucks, unit tool. like
unit
the-
trucks.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
T tool, as kids call it
the
now.
T tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite tool is the I think they
Schmidt
make
sticks?
it. They
Yeah,
fucking
the silver tool. It's
the silver
best-
tool,
it's
right.
The best thing ever. Yeah.
love it.
Gotcha.
I don't know if that was a correct sound effect, but I think that was
The French
close.
sound, yeah.
So they fucking kicked you off and made
Yeah.
you fly home. That
Yeah.
is fucking. I'm still in disbelief.
That's
I mean,
insane.
that is fucking. How old were you? 14?
No,
15?
no. At this point, this was like 1989, so I was probably like 19.
Okay.
Still fairly young, you know, 19, 20.
I guess they thought you were an adult, so they could just fucking. But that's still crazy to me. Like
Completely
any
crazy.
decent human being would
buy
be
a
like,
ticket.
"We just drove cross country. We're kicking you off, but we're not just gonna leave you here. Like, come home with us in the or like here's the money. Here's a couple
Or,
hundred bucks
you know,
for
or
a
at least
flight."
like, you know, I think looking back, it was like there was no warning. Like, hey, you're kind of kooking it right now.
Yeah, pull you aside. You
Yeah,
just be
like, hey, like here's some issues that we're seeing. Like,
Yeah.
we have the last leg of this trip. Like, do something to change it. Because Rob Mertz didn't like talk to me. It was just like the collective group, and I was like, all right, like I'm out. Like,
you got voted out of the van.
yeah,
What is this, like Survivor skateboarding?
Yeah.
What the fuck is it? Like they voted and you fucking got fucking
Later.
Yeah.
The skate posse has spoken. You're
yeah,
out.
it happens. Oh no, the other guy from Status, I just remembered, Mike Rosa was
Oh,
one
he
of
was
the other
sick.
guys. Yeah.
I liked him.
Mike with the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was
He
fucking
was rad.
sick.
He was from Florida, right?
Yep.
So then what happened after that? Did you you kept skating obviously?
Kept skating, came back from it, bummed, you know. So I think this time between 20 and 21, trying to figure out like what's my next move.
Did you try to find like a new sponsor, like send out a
No,
new tape?
no, I was just skating, like whatever I can get, I would get. And at that time, you know, witnessing firsthand this next generation, P-Rod, Mikey Taylor, and everyone was like, these are the next dudes. I'm out. Like, there's no way. You know, and honestly, it was just like, no way, because they started, you know, they were doing that whole lighting up spots at night and doing all that stuff. Versus me and my friends, we would skate all day during the day. Nighttime was like party. Like,
Yeah.
let's go party and have fun.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what am I going to do? The temporary solution at that time was, I don't know if you ever went, there was a Northridge skate park that
Totally.
opened up.
They had a foam pit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this opens up. It was near my place. I knew the guys who were doing it, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna do a summer camp for kids. Like, you down to teach it and we'll pay you this much. And I was like, great. Like, I just, I'm getting a little bit older. I need to make some money. I need to learn about reality.
Yeah.
Let me do this. And I'm still skating. I'm hanging out with kids. It's having fun. And I was like, yeah, let's do this. So that was like the next thing that kind of fell into place for me.
Sick. Yeah.
Was doing that.
But do you have any like skate footage online?
Yeah,
do you have you have YouTube shit?
I have 118 video parts uploaded. Yeah.
Since you're Van Styles now, and you have a following, do people know that you have all this skate shit? I mean, like, have you gone on YouTube and been like, dude, my old part has like fucking 1 million views. No, this is crazy.
No, they don't have any views, really. I uploaded them, like, I was hyped, but I don't push that. I mean, I think from that generation of skating, you don't throw your skating out. Right. It's like, hey, if you find it, cool.
Totally.
To me, that's the fun part, is if you can find it, like, If you don't know, then,
Well, because I think you've done a good job, too, of, like, concealing your real name, so to speak. Not concealing it, but, you just go by Van Styles now, right? So,
well, just it's a moniker that stuck with me, and it's like, I meet people, and it's like, what do you want to go by? And it's like, whatever you want to. No one really asks my real name too often. Right. Sometimes people think that's my real name, which is amazing.
When you go up to people, do you go up and introduce yourself as Steve or Van Styles?
Depends on the setting. Okay. Like if it's more of like a, hey, we want to work with you, talk to you. Like, okay, then you probably want to talk to this brand of Van.
Right. Okay.
Versus like who I am.
Because if you go up to somebody and you're like, hey, I'm Steve, they're like, what?
Yeah.
I thought your name was Van.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, in this alias at world of social media and everything, it sticks. Yeah. Right. So you come up with a name like that's like your moniker almost. It's really interesting.
How did the name Van Styles come to be?
So that's fast forwarding a bit. So working at a skate camp that summer, I had 3 sons that were in my camp by this older man named Christian. Christian Man was his name. Turns out he owned a porn company. Oh. So the youngest one tells me what their dad does. At the time they were 8, 11, and 12. The dad was very well put together, very well spoken. Like I would have no thought, because I think at that point in my head, anyone who like owned a porn company was like sleazy, like chest hair out, gold chains. Yeah. This guy spoke very proper. The kid was like, hey, I don't know how it came up, but he's like, yeah, my dad does porn, and started running off titles. And I'm like, looking at this kid, and I go to his older brothers. I'm like, your brother just told me this. Like, and they're like, no, yeah, it's true. It's true. And I'm like,
well, I guess it's good that the dad is upfront with his kids rather than his kids finding out later and like having it be this big thing.
No, I mean, he was I think at that you have to. You can't try to, at 11 and 12, you can't conceal it.
That, yeah.
So anyway, so that's what happened. I wound up working for the dad sometime later and falling into directing adult movies. And he's like, you need to create, your moniker.
Your name.
Yeah. So Van, my last name being Vanasco, came from Van. I'm like, okay, let's just run that. And then I was listening to this hip hop group from the Valley called Styles of Beyond. And I was like, let me just do that. Because everyone has like Dick Hurts or like some over the top name.
But you could have done your street name and your first animal. Well, what would that have been?
Merity Pee-wee.
That's pretty good.
Your life would be so much different if it was Merity Pee-wee.
I mean, imagine the whole visual clothing line would be just completely different. But wait, so Van Styles came up, but had you had any experience with like directing or even camera work or anything at that time?
Camera work from skateboarding. Okay. Obviously filming your friends and edit, like, doing editing. Like Nigel, like he and I would edit skate videos together. Yeah. After getting to know him, skating with his kids a bunch, he's like, I have this idea. I want to make a skateboarding adult movie. I want it to be cool. I don't want it to be cheesy.
Was this the one they shot at Skate Lab?
Yes.
No way.
So he's like, would you be down to produce it? I'm like, what does it entail? He's like, just make it cool.
This was
like,
your
This
was your first job.
First job. I was 21.
Okay.
So in my head, I'm like, okay, like I tried skating, it didn't really work out. Here's this alternate route that's still kind of rebellious against the lifestyle of traditionalism.
And you're like, well, if I get fired and they leave me in Simi Valley, I guess I could fucking go home to.
I could drive home.
I could drive home.
Yeah. So he pitches this idea to me, and I'm like, yeah, like I'm with it. So I was acting as a producer. Like Shiloh was in the skit. We had Pancho Moeller do a scene with his girlfriend. We rented out Skate Lab, and I wound up having like Mike Rosen, some of the guys.
Pancho ended up being a porn star, right?
Well, his girlfriend that he was dating at the time was a porn star.
Oh.
So when I went to an agency, we're telling them this project. They're like, "Oh, we got this girl, and her boyfriend, I guess, is a pro skater." I'm like, "Dude, I know Poncho. Like, this is crazy."
I think people still talk about that porno to this day.
Hopefully,
you
I mean,
know,
I think
like it'll just pop up out of nowhere.
Well, I mean, like when you have
sometimes,
Poncho doing a sex scene in the skate shop of Skate Lab,
listen, I want to tell you this. I've never seen it.
What's the name of
Yeah.
it?
But
skate tricks, but
Skate
TRIXX.
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Were you there while Poncho was doing his scene? With
Like
this?
not
Were you-
visibly watching. Like
Okay.
like this was so new to me. Keep in mind, like I started like kind of like going to this guy's office. I'd never been on a porn set before, so like it's pretty mind blowing experience.
So you decided not to watch that scene.
Well, I mean, I
Because
didn't
that
know
would be a
I didn't
little-
know what the protocol was.
Right.
Like I'm not, and especially as a
Did you
skater.
know Poncho back then?
I knew
Or-
of him. I
you
didn't know him,
okay.
and
So as
but-
far as he knew, you were just some dude.
Yeah, and
there
like,
producing.
and I'm not gonna sit and like a pro skater. There's that. I'm not gonna watch a pro skater who like Big Brother and everything. Watch him
Yeah.
skate. Like
Right.
I can't do that. I mean, it's a trip. You kind of take a step back. I mean, we had guys skating the mini ramp at Skate Lab and people having sex on top of it. You kind of have to pause your life for a
Right,
second and
yeah.
be like, wow, like like what's going on right now? Like it's just a total shock.
Dude, just think, like, next time you skate that ramp and you slam, just think of what happened on that ramp.
Totally.
You know, like,
But listen, I got a couple ideas. You still got this guy's phone number? Pass it.
Unfortunately, he passed away.
Oh,
he
my
was like a
gosh.
great mentor to me. He had
Yeah.
cancer.
Oh,
Passed
that sucks.
away, but like, very strong moment for me because I don't think I'd be where I'm at without him.
Right. Right.
Well,
How
shout
did,
out
how did the whole porno turn out? Was it good? Did it turn out good?
It was actually successful. Like Playboy Television bought it and
Really?
started airing it. So the guy was like, "Oh, this turned out great. You want to come work for me?" And I was like, "Look, like I love skating. The realization of like I'm not gonna have a future doing this.
Okay.
Let me start figuring something out.
Right.
So yeah, I'll come.
But
work
did you
for
have like second thoughts about like, well, I'm about to go down a path in pornography? Like, is this the path? Is this the path that I want to go down?
hey,
I
mom,
think,
dad.
Yeah.
I think at that point for me it was like skating to me from when I started was a rebellious thing.
Right.
Porn I felt had that similar elements to
Okay.
it where it's rebellious and it's
Right.
like you don't give a fuck and it's like, you know what, like I don't see myself going to college and studying something traditional. Let's just see where this fucking goes.
Right. Okay.
I honestly, that's where I was like, I'm not gonna work a traditional job at Macy's. I'm not gonna do some bullshit.
Yeah.
Let me
Well-
just see where this goes. I know there's money in this business.
But
Were you thinking there's money in this business, or like I can fuck porn chicks?
No money. I remember telling my parents. My mom was super bummed on it.
I believe it.
Yeah, my dad was. He's an old school Italian New Yorker. He was just like, look, as long as you're not doing anything illegal, go for it. So I was like, cool.
how was that breaking that to your parents? Was it a weird
Was it
conversation?
like
Because
Thanksgiving?
No, it was very upfront because they met the guy, they knew him. So it's like
Okay.
I'm working for his company. So like, okay, like my mom was like, please don't mess with those girls.
yeah,
That was
right,
her thing.
Right. Right.
My
right,
dad was
right,
like,
right.
as long as it's legal, it's fine.
Yeah.
So that was like the dynamic.
And plus, it's
of
not
it.
like you're in them.
Exactly. That was the thing. It's like that's why when he asked me, "You want to produce?" I what does it entail? And
Right.
he's like,
right.
just make it cool. So I was like, I could do that.
Yeah.
I could do my best to try to do that.
But did the thought ever cross your mind? Like, if there was a hot ass chick there, did the thought like, I could fucking do this scene right here. I think I could do this.
No way, man. Because
No,
you see
no,
what those dudes are working with and what their stamina is. It's like, no way, man. Like, no, I know I'm honest enough to say like I'm not fit physically for that. And, like I'm not, like I'm good. The first girl I dated within the industry, we kind of had a serious relationship. My mom, what did she do? She's a banker.
she's a banker.
She works at a bank.
Just straight lie to her.
I did, and then unfortunately, some fucking ABC special airs, and she's on it.
Oh no.
And my mom's like, calls me up. Hey, so she's a banker, huh? Yeah.
And you're like, did you just watch the ABC special? Is that
something like that? Yeah.
Right.
So that's how it came out. My mom was bummed, but I think, my parents are pretty open. Luckily, you think of adult industry, you think drugs and like a dark place.
Yeah.
for sure?
And I never really went down that dark place. So I think for them it was like, okay, like as long as he's making a living, like
Yeah,
that's. I think
yeah.
any parent at some point you're like, just do something.
But I think at the end of the day too, like your parents, like they know what kind of kid they raised. You know what I mean? Like by
Yeah.
then they know you and they know like he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's not going to go down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're more comfortable with it, I think, right?
Yeah,
Like,
between that and knowing the guy who owned the company I worked for, it's like, okay, like there's, it's probably not their first choice or where they wanted me to end up, but hey, it could be worse.
So after all that, how many years were you doing that for, you think?
Roughly, I mean, before I fully made an exit, like 8 to almost 10 years.
That's a long time.
It is.
That's
I mean,
a long
all through my
time.
20s.
What made you decide to exit?
I think I just reached a point. I was working for an internet company studio in Culver City. That was like the last big thing. Like, what am I going to do? Keep directing? Like, you know, granted it was fun, like 20s and, you know, early 30s.
For sure.
As appealing as a thought may be to some people, I don't want to be 50 and like, here's a 19-year-old girl coming to like shoot a sex scene. Like, I feel like there would have been something a little awkward about that. Like, you know, I think the fun part about life is like recognizing that point of when it's time to like try something new.
So you're like, I'm just going to start shooting girls.
Well, I started doing photography through the adult. I would take my camera skating sometimes and go travel shoot, and it kind of grew into a passion thing. Yeah. At that point, I remember I was, you know, hanging out with Yoon a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And Yoon was like, yo, you got to check out this thing called Instagram.
No way.
Yeah, he's put me onto it.
Really?
Yeah, so Yoon's like, check it out. Like, all the skaters are using it. It's this rad thing. And he's like, dude, I think what you're doing, like, it'd probably work well on there.
And this is before you started shooting, like, all the
well, this
girls
is like the tail end
or?
of my adult career.
Okay, so the tail end of your adult career, you started photographing
on set. I'd be on set. I'd have like weird things, especially because the internet company I was working for would have bizarre. It wasn't traditional porn. It'd be weird
have galleries,
like 10 girls naked planking. Remember planking?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it'd be like
sure.
weird stuff that's like, hey, like this is a weird photo. Like this will work. This is fun, you know. And then girls who I made friends with throughout working in the adults, like, hey, I'm getting into this photography thing. Let's just try shooting for ourselves and not for a company.
So then you started just posting your shit on the Instagram and stuff.
Instagram. I think I like.
And then what, you just decided to keep going with the Van Styles thing though.
It just
Is
stuck.
That just,
it just stuck because that was my handle on Instagram.
Nickname,
it stuck, and I think like through the skaters, like it just transferred over. Like, oh, that's Van Styles, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna run with it. You know, like I didn't know where it was gonna go, but
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it's a good nickname.
I like it.
Yeah.
It works.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's really
classy.
Good. Yeah, it is.
It's really classy.
So then you left the porn industry.
Yeah, so I mean,
were you photographing these girls for like
while I was still an adult, I would photograph stuff, and then like I think it just started randomly happening where it's like I knew Tyrone from LRG, and he'd be like, hey, you wear our clothes, can we send you some stuff and like photograph girls? I was like, yeah, like of course, because like for me it was rad to see porn chicks or beautiful women wearing skate clothing. I just thought it was fucking cool doing that. Then it just kind of like snowballed. You know, I think the first official project I did was a board with Skate Mafia. The next one was like Huff was like, oh, let's do a 420 thing. So it kind of just kept going. And I think at that time, not a lot of people were shooting girls through Instagram. And much like what you guys are doing here, it was just fun.
Fun.
At that time, Instagram was this new thing. No one knew what it was going to become.
Yeah,
and it was fun. And I think, and everyone will ask me like, what attributed to like what you've been able to build? And I'm like, honestly, skateboarders were fucking with Instagram long before everyone else.
Yeah.
I think it was that word of mouth, like, oh, this guy used to skate. He does this now. You should follow him and check him out.
Yeah. He's putting hot chicks in skate gear.
Yeah.
When did you notice, like, okay, I got something here? Like,
I think
this
it was
is
probably
fucking
after
good.
the first 2 Instagram accounts I had were deleted.
Oh, really?
Because I was putting up like borderline racy stuff.
So how many followers did you have on that account when it got deleted?
At the max was like 20,000. This was like probably 2011, 2012.
That's still a fucking hit to you, though. It's like, God, I had 20.
No, I
built
start
up
over. And then like, I started over again,
like,
and it got deleted like super quick. And then I think I sat back because I was like, okay, photography is really fun to me. There's something here with this platform that's gonna happen. Either I keep dicking around and like doing stupid stuff, or I kind of try to like walk that border of like, okay, like I'll play with your rules. To be able to be on this.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, is Instagram like open a lot of doors for you? Like,
100%. Not for jobs. I think just for like stuff that I want to do. It's not like I'm shooting for random things that I have no interest in. It was just skate stuff. It was like, cool. Like, let's do I remember like Jim Thiebaud, like, let's do a Venture shirt. Oh, you kidding me? Like, I'm going to do a Venture shirt. Like, I'm doing DGK and I'm doing like all this. Like, that's what it first was to me.
Yeah.
And it was amazing because coming from skateboarding to be able to like do stuff within skating, and you know, like it was great. It was fun.
Yeah. But how do you get these girls now? I mean, are girls just approaching you or hitting you up on direct message?
I think what happened was like I always figured, because when you work an adult, there's this stigma of like once you do that, like you're tainted. No one's ever gonna want to do anything else with you. I never thought about that. I'm just gonna shoot with girls who I was cool with, and like let's create some cool photos. Right. And it just started where other girls outside of adult, like, oh, like that's actually just a rad photo. Like, forget about what the girl does. Let's shoot. Right. So it's kind of started in snowballing, and it just became like this network
tastefully
thing.
And
whatever. I mean, just shoot within the realms of where whoever you're working with is proud to say like, that's rad. Like whether they're more provocative or they're less, but they're like, that's rad.
So maybe some girls you shoot with are like, well, maybe I won't go topless or
I won't do lingerie. I will do.
Right.
I always tell them it's like in your comfort zone. But at the end of the day, it's like you produce stuff that people get hyped on, then it's like, oh, cool. And it's
let me see your DM inbox right now.
It's pretty boring right now. My phone's over there, but it's pretty boring. I mean, but obviously, today's modernization of Instagram, it's like a common thing to
that's what I'm saying. You must have girls just hitting you up though.
Here and there, but I mean, but it's like I've seen it become such a thing that it's like, like I'm almost turned off to it.
Send them my way.
Okay. Chris has an iPhone.
I got and I got the eye for it too.
Yeah.
And I got my new Leica camera too.
Yeah, exactly. You're ready to go.
This is me right here.
Ready to go.
Okay, girl. Just go. Because I always think about you girls must be hitting you up. Like that's what I'm. I think that's what everybody thinks.
But it's like I mean, for me, it's more or less
word of mouth. Maybe like, oh, you should shoot with my friend Adriana. Or
there's a mixture of that. Like I have a shoot this weekend with someone who works at the Huff store, and it's because a friend of mine who manages the Huff store is like, yo, like there's this girl who does modeling that works here. You should shoot with her.
Big hen.
Big hen dog. Big hen.
All right.
Yeah.
You know this girl?
No, I know the dude. Big hen dog.
Yeah, everyone knows Big hen dog.
Yeah, I know the girl. Big hen dog. Yeah, she's fucking hot.
And at this point, I'd almost rather shoot the girl that you've never seen.
Right.
Hey, here's someone who genuinely wants to try modeling.
I appreciate that, by the way.
Well, dude, I do too. Because when a new television show comes on or something, or a new movie comes out, it's the same fucking actors that you know. And now this chick is this. Yeah. Is this character. Yeah. And now she's this character. And then when a show comes out, when you don't know fucking anybody, it makes it a lot more believable or interesting.
Maybe it's my mentality of going back to skating, but there's something appreciative of like when you see that overly hungry kid who wants it, you're like, you know, you got something here, but chill out versus the kid who's in his own corner skating. And you're like, you know what?
Right.
I want to watch that kid skate because he doesn't give a fuck about anything.
Yeah.
Totally.
So same thing shooting girls. Like if a girl's like, hey, I just want to try this. I have no plan of what I'm doing, but like it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Very rad versus the girl who's like, well, I'm doing this tea promotion that I don't drink, but you know, it's like
But I think even if a chick's not even trying to promote anything and she just wants, like, I feel like I'd be with you. Like, I feel like they're trying to use me to gain followers or to, you know, how many followers you got? Like 200,000?
692 last I checked.
Jesus Christ. Will you give me a shout? Will you give me a shout out,
I'm giving the show a shout out.
No. I want a personal. Can we just go?
I'm going to at you. I'll at Breadcrumb Trail.
Can we just maybe we'll go shoot together?
Yeah.
Will you just shoot me?
Dude, I shoot skaters. I shoot Dane Vaughn. I shoot
No, I don't want to skate though. I want to be on a bed or something with the cut off mid-drift huff shirt.
No, back 40. We got to do back 40, bro.
No, I like the mid-drift cut off
like 80s like dude crop top.
I could put on some little short shorts. Yeah. I go get a spray tan real quick. I need a couple more followers. That's all I'm saying. What do you think you would be where you are right now if it wasn't for social media? Or do you think you would have maybe gone in a different direction? Or how do you think that it's not saying that you're not a great...
I get what you're saying 100%.
Yeah, right.
Here's the thing. I don't know where I'd be. I'd like to think it'd be within photography of some realm. The beauty of the internet and what it's done and what we've all seen is that it's broken down the walls of the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
You wanted to be a popular skateboarder, Slap, Thrasher, Transworld. That's how you fucking got did. Yeah. And whoever was the editor, the photographers, that's what put you on.
If they thought you were cool, you were in the
That's what put you on.
Right.
Photography in general. You wanted to fucking be a photographer. You studied under some dude in the studio.
Yeah.
And he put you on across the board. Music, everything. The internet broke that fucking wall where now it's like, hey, like I'm just going to put this song I made online.
Right.
I'm going to put this photo. I'm going to put this skate clip, whatever it is. Now I have the same power as everyone else.
Right. The same voice.
Yeah. So whether you want to say Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, whatever it may be, let's just call it the internet.
The internet.
The internet made it available for everyone to have the same opportunity and chance as everyone else now. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Instagram, 100%. Social media, internet played a huge role. Right time, right place, right content matter, right background, whatever you want to say, all these puzzle pieces worked and 100% it played into my favor. Random things. Shot a photo shoot at Nick's house when Sean and Yusuf were renting it. Mm-hmm. Nick rolls through and we're talking about Instagram. It was like a fucking booming, 2012.
Okay.
Nick's like, you know he's following you, right? Nah. Puff Daddy. I was like, wow.
I wanted to ask you this.
Like, so I'm like, oh, that's fucking. I look, I'm like, that's actually pretty fucking rad.
You had no idea.
No idea. I mean, you know, like I'm more engulfed to my friends, so I'm like,
Right.
okay, cool. So I did an art show with Skate Mafia and JSLV at Agenda in 2012. We ran for like 3 days. One of the days, someone from the gallery calls me like, yeah, like some people from like Revolt TV, which is Puff Daddy's channel, was like, yeah, Puff told us that you're having an art show. We need to come by and check it out and blah blah blah. So I wound up meeting Puff through Instagram. I was at South by Southwest.
No way.
And he's in the backstage. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go say what's up, because if he's actually following me,
He's gonna know who you are. Yeah.
And so I said what's up, and he was like, oh, what's up, dude? Like it wasn't like, who are you? Like, what are you talking about? Like
Right.
a full on.
Were you like, what's up, I'm Van Styles, or like?
Yeah, I was just like, oh, I'm Van, like whatever. And he's like, oh shit, like, et cetera, et cetera.
Did
Yeah.
you fan out?
Oh, dude, it's so funny. So prior to that, the guy who works, like, you know, if you Puff wants some prints from you. So I gave him this photo of like these two chicks, like, you know, lingerie, like holding each other. And he was dating a girl at the time. And I saw him at South by. The guy told me the story, and Puff was like, yeah, dude, my girl ripped that photo up.
No
It
way.
was framed. I gave it to him framed because she was so pissed at it that she ripped it up.
Oh my God.
But, you know, I've shot him a few times since then,
Yeah,
and it's
sick.
been kind of cool. But
Yeah.
again, through this thing where this guy goes from this guy telling me, why are you fucking wasting your time with this? Like what you guys do, it's fun.
I mean, dude,
Yeah.
if you've reached Puff Daddy,
Yeah.
you know, like that, he
amazing.
friend requested me, but I denied
Yeah,
it.
of course. I mean,
You know,
why
like
would you want,
you know, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jesus Christ, like that's some shit where you're like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Like,
definitely a trip, man. I mean,
You have to step
Wow.
back and be like, I kind of made it right now.
well, it's just this fascination of like through this technology, the reach that you have. So I have kids like, how do I get my photos seen? What can I do? And it's like, honestly,
Post photos.
Yeah.
post photos, post your best shit that you genuinely like.
Yeah.
You never know who's looking at it. It doesn't matter if your follower count, because someone can stumble upon it and be like, you know
Exactly.
what? Like,
Right.
you do rad shit. Like, let's fuck with
It'll
you.
end up
Like,
on that popular page, and you have no idea who's looking at it.
exactly.
Yeah.
I
Or,
find,
or
yeah.
word of mouth. Like, I mean, I
Totally.
don't, you know, you might have heard from someone, follow this guy.
That's how I found out about you. Is it was kind of like everyone on skateboard. I'm like, oh, you need to follow. Like, you like fucking sexy chicks. Like, you need to follow Van
Oh,
Styles.
you didn't know Van before?
No.
Oh. But so have you ever had photographers that you are super fucking psyched on that you don't know, like come up to you and know who you are?
I think it's just like even appreciation. It's like a Tiba, like knowing
Yeah.
who I am. Like,
Right.
nothing like too far outside the lane, but I think it may be like developing a relation with, like, say, Leica. Like, that's
Okay,
the biggest
yeah.
trip to
Yeah,
me.
how did that
Oh
happen?
yeah.
This guy David Gensler at the time was starting a program because he saw this gap that needed to be filled, where it's like Leica's this great heritage brand.
But it's like an old man brand.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how it's perceived. And it's like, you know, young people appreciate photography and this and that. Like, let's build something.
Yeah.
I was already shooting with Leicas. I met him at Art Basel in Miami. And he was like, oh, I'm starting this program called Leica Crafts. Like, you should be a part of it. Like, you shoot with it already. Like, you kind of fit what we're looking for. And I was like, look, like, I told him, like, with or without you, I still would be shooting with this product because I like it. You look at the iconic photos that brand has created with photographers, and it's like, I'm fucking so subpar to like all these like historical images, but it's like they saw something and it's like, you know, and they saw the growth, I guess, because it's like obviously I'm shooting girls and they're like the hesitation of like he shoots a lot of girls and it's very sexual, provocative,
Yeah,
whatever you want
yeah.
to call it. But the last meeting I had with them in New York, it was really fun because they're like, what's going on with your photography? I'm like, what do you mean? Like, we've been looking at your work and it's like it's went in this different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Like you
Um,
started doing like a lot of fucking.
Well, street photography,
yeah.
you know,
Right.
landscape, aerial, whatever. And it's just like, yeah, it's like, I want to push myself. I can't
Yeah.
sit complacent. Shoot a girl in lingerie and bikinis, I probably could do that as often as I want to, but what's the point?
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, then you're just like,
I'll tell you why. Okay.
for Chris Roberts.
So are you technically like sponsored by Leica?
Yeah, I
Or
guess they would call it an ambassador.
an ambassador.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you get so they just send you free stuff, or
When
how's it? Or do you
when
like?
new cameras come out, I get the chance to test them out.
Wow.
Like, let me borrow it for a few weeks. Let me
Yeah,
shoot with it.
yeah.
Is French Fred involved in all that too?
Yeah, French Red kills it. I'm so
Sick.
hyped to see his work. I went to Germany for a new camera system they launched, and he got the SL.
Yeah. The
He
one
got
I
to
hit
test
you
it
up
out.
though, yeah.
And I walk in, I see this huge skate exhibit for him. I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
That's sick.
To come across to Europe and with a brand like that to see big skate images, like, I was so hyped.
Wow.
I've just never been a photo taking person. Maybe occasionally take out the phone and shoot a couple flip photos. I love seeing photos. I'm just not a photo taker.
Yeah.
I'm just not I don't see.
It's not for everybody.
Yeah. It's funny because when I take a photo on Instagram, I honestly believe that like I can take a photo of this San Pellegrino bottle.
You get the box water.
Right. Okay. The box water. Okay. I could take a photo of the box water. Right. And then some dude can take a photo, exactly the same photo, and theirs will be better. I don't know why. I look at other people's shit and I could take the same fucking photo as them, but theirs will be better.
But you're looking at it like, why didn't I see that angle?
No, I'm talking about from the same fucking angle. I'm talking about everything exactly the same, but their photo is better.
But you're going to do a certain trick a certain way better than the next guy.
I know.
That's what it is.
I definitely will do a trick better than the next guy. But I'm talking about a photograph. You know, that's just what I think. I don't think that I'm the best photographer.
No, it's not the best, but it's a matter of like we all have a lane.
Maybe I said that a lane.
A lane, like we all have something that's like, hey, we're not the best at everything, but there's certain key points that we do excel at.
But it's just so weird because I'm good at everything I do. So it's really fucking weird. No, but you know what I mean. No,
I totally
it's
know
like
what you mean.
it's just something like the.
I'll go on a shoot and say like Eric and Ty and fucking someone's there all shooting the same goddamn fucking skate clip.
Right.
And I think like, oh, I got the angle right here. I'm fucking the set.
And then you see
and then
their
I'll see
shit.
them like, fuck, dude, their shit's fucking better than.
But
mine.
it's such a contrast because you could watch Ty make an amazing production value piece, and then you can watch Bill Strobeck fucking just go out and skate down the street and film something,
just
and it's
raw
like
as fuck.
And
it's just fucking two parallels.
Yeah,
it's
and
like
it looks great.
If one were to try to do the opposite, it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Totally.
But in their lane, it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's talk about your brand.
Yeah.
How did Visual start?
So again, through Skate Mafia, DGK, Huff, all these brands, hundreds and whatnot. It came to the point where someone, Josh Prebes of Skate Mafia, you should just do your own thing. Like you've already done it for everyone else. Like why don't you? At that point, it's like why not? I have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Let me see what happens, and did it, and it was well received. And I think a large part again from the skate community of me doing projects with skaters opened up that door of like, oh, we know his name, we know what he can do, and like skaters have this unique support system, I think, within it. Obviously, the boom of Instagram was very helpful in this moment, and right place, right time, and what I was doing, I think.
But it's cool too because after the whole porn industry thing, like you've just been doing shit for yourself. Like not only taking the photos, but then actually starting a clothing brand around
I mean,
it,
Backtrack real quick. I worked in porn. Like probably one of the best deals I had. I worked with Hustler. I had a contract with Hustler making movies.
Oh wow.
I got paid I think I was like 24, making like 15 grand a month.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, but at that age, unless you have someone breaking it down to like what the reality of finances and everything is, like you don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
This is great. I made it. This is the career for the rest of my life. I'm making great money. Wound up getting myself a condo, but spent a lot of extra shit on bullshit, because it's going to last forever in my head.
Yeah.
Online comes on, everything's free. The checks start going because I was getting royalties. The checks were just going. I'm like, damn. To the point where it's like, okay, now I have to like work to sustain like this living, and like I owed taxes and I didn't understand all that stuff. Like,
so how did you do it? But from the porn to the visual stuff, how did you support yourself in between?
Just check to check,
check
hustle.
to check.
I mean, to the point where like I was thousands of dollars in debt. Like I was like so foolish. Like I had my condo. I think 2 years after owning my condo, you should get a second mortgage.
Oh yeah.
You know what? I should, because you're gonna give me like X amount of equity.
Right.
And this is great. Not fully understanding it.
Yeah.
Credit cards, whatever. So it's like I was just struggling to pay bills. I was months behind on my mortgage, or whatever. So I felt office space. I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Take my fucking place. I'm done.
Right.
Like photography makes me happy.
Yeah.
So I thought like I can sit here and stress every day. How am I gonna take care of this shit? Or I can take my camera out and go photograph and have fun and like be happy.
For sure. Yeah.
So let me see where this goes. And that's what happened. Like, I think like I was just in debt, but like following what made me happy versus like, well, what's going to make me the most money? Because I could have jumped into another porn company
to
try to get something. Like at that point I had no kids. I had no girlfriend, no wife, no nothing. Like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And I realized that nothing's permanent in life. As bad as it could be at one point, get through it and shit can change.
Right.
So I don't know. I started following it and things fell into place. The day I got fired from that last porn company, Tyrone from LRG, do you want to shoot like some summer ads for us in a lookbook? It's going to be with the workaholics from Comedy Central.
I remember that. That was sick.
And
Yeah.
cool. I'm like, yeah, like let's do it.
Yeah.
So like stuff just started going. You hustle in between everything,
Yeah.
but to me it was like, okay, like I'm not going to like we're in the negative. Let's focus on the positive,
Right.
and see where this goes. My mind when starting like visual and starting a brand was like, if I can make enough money to get by, I'm psyched because I wake up every day doing whatever I want to fucking
Right.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not about the most money. It's about doing what
It's
makes
about
me
being happy.
Exactly.
That's all it is. It's like about being happy.
Well, going back to having the girl, you didn't have the girlfriend and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Like, well, now you got a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Is she your wife or your girlfriend?
Girlfriend.
My
Yeah.
girl gets mad that I don't Instagram her enough.
100%. I get that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
why don't you want to post me?
Yeah,
And,
well,
Yeah.
You know?
So here's my question though, because every guy out there,
Yeah.
probably is like, is Van banging these girls?
Oh,
because you always hear about like, you want to get laid, become a photographer.
Yeah.
You know, like I always hear that.
How we met, she did makeup
Okay.
in the adult industry.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
towards the tail end, that's how we met.
Right.
Coming from her working in that industry and seeing things, it was an easier adjustment than like a girl who had,
No idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because she did
Okay,
makeup, so
right.
she, and she
So
was
she
still do
knows
makeup.
how it goes, and then now you're shooting just regular girls that
Yeah.
are posing for you. But
Does she get jealous?
yeah,
I think
Is
it's
there-
I think it's human nature to have some
little-
feelings like that. So our pretty much common solution to it would be like, look, here's an iPad. This iPad is now connected to every bit of my social media,
yeah.
text messages, emails.
Oh wow,
You will see everything.
Wow.
You have an issue, talk to me about it.
interesting.
So
interesting.
that's what I have.
That's
I think-
interesting way of doing it because you always hear about the fucking girl check my fucking Instagram, like fuck this, like.
So how many ex-girlfriends did you block before you gave her that iPad?
Didn't block anyone. I mean, I'm pretty open with everything, but it's
But
like I
that's-
feel like that's the trend. Sometimes there are things where it's like this girl texted you, like, why'd you reply? And it's
Right,
like,
right.
it's a unique situation because as a photographer, you have to be friendly
Of
to people.
course.
You can't just be
Yeah.
like,
Right.
I'm cold and like this is it. We're gonna shoot, but that's my solution. Like, here's this thing.
Yeah.
Like, you can check it anytime you want. If you have a
Right.
question, you have a feeling, talk to me. Like, yeah, there's gonna be ups and downs, but like, I'm as transparent as I can be.
Well,
So-
that's the best way to do it. Now,
Yeah.
do you have access to her shit?
no. I mean, I don't feel the need. Like, I do trust her. I don't feel the
Of
need
course.
to do that.
right.
And like,
I just was wondering if it was like a
no,
two,
but
like
I
a-
think with dating people, it's like you can try to have that control, but it's like trust people or not.
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's what it comes
Yeah.
down to. If they're gonna do something, they'll do something. If
Yeah.
not, you can't control it.
I think that's a great solution, though, man. A lot of girls just get jealous,
no.
and there big fights happen, and then
Yeah.
you're just like, I liked her photo.
yeah.
Like, why
No, I
is
mean,
this?
like a big issue was, originally was a girl was like that I was talking about shooting with was sending me selfies,
Oh,
and she's like, "Why is this chick sending me selfies?" I'm like, "Look at the conversation, like." She's sending that. I didn't say send me selfies. She sent
Right.
it. She's like, well, you didn't tell her to stop.
oh, mm.
It's like, but it's almost like, well, she would be that way in front of my camera if I was shooting with her. So I'm coming from a different head zone than she is.
right,
Yeah.
right.
And it's like, what do I, like, how do I not be a dick and say, please don't send me selfies, even though we possibly could be photographing? Point blank is photography is a very unique thing, especially portraits. Even if it's just, I'm sure you've had your portrait taken just
Yeah.
for a magazine.
Like we're
It's-
going to do later today.
Exactly.
Later
It's-
tonight
it's-
with the fucking midriff tough shirt.
Yeah,
on the bed.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing because it's like there has to be a level of comfort.
Right.
If someone's like, "Hey, Chris Roberts, I'm from whatever, I'm gonna shoot a portrait," you're gonna be like, "Fuck!" But
So-
if it's like, say, a Tiba, you're gonna be like, "Okay, I know you.
For
like,
sure.
let's get a
For
photo."
sure.
Cool,
And two, you know that what they're going to put out is going to be like legit.
Yeah.
They're not going to put out a fucked up photo of you with your fucking wonky eye like off
Hey,
to
hey,
the
hey,
left.
hey, hey.
I know. That's why I said it.
But yeah, going back to the brand thing, it was just starting that and just that was my formula. It was like follow what you love and like because I realized working an adult, it was fun, it was crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But take the money out of what you're doing. Ask yourself, do you want to keep doing this?
Right.
If not, that probably isn't what you should be doing. What I realized, a lot of people in life don't really come across a passion that they
True.
genuinely love. Skating, videography, whatever it may be.
Absolutely. They
You
just
know,
work their fucking
they work,
they work
and
their
it's like-
job from 9 to 5. They come home.
Whatever money they make goes into buying shit to make them happy, but
True.
it's not the same as what really makes you happy.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just a side note, but do you do the visual out of Primitive or do you do it
No. So originally, what happened was like I was getting offers from people,
to
distributors,
do
visual, but the deals were absurd.
right? They want like 90% or something.
Oh yeah,
for
like
fucking-
we're gonna get 15%. We have final say. We own your photos that you're gonna use.
wow.
Or I remember one it was a skate distribution company, and they were like, "You'll get paid 90 days after we get paid."
Was it Blitz?
Yeah. Well, they're out of business now, so I guess it's safe to say. But yeah, so I mean, that was like a tough thing. It's like, okay, well, how do I increase my percentage? Oh, you can't increase your percentage. Like, you're stuck with whatever you're doing, and that's it. And it's like all the primitive guys I grew up with in high school. I would vent to them about this. Jay Parteau, who was one of the founder financial guys of Visual, we went to high school together. He would hear me complain. He's like, you know what? He's like, I see potential in what you're doing. Here's my deal to you. And it was the most fairest deal. It was a 2-page contract. I don't want to own your photos. I don't want to like do any of that. Yeah. Like, we're 50-50 in this. Yeah. Great. You know, he's like, I know production. I know where to get the shirts made. And oh, cool.
And like you just said, that was like the fairest deal. Because it's like, are you going to go out by yourself and do it 100% you?
Yeah.
You know, because could you do that?
No.
Like, I don't think you like.
And I've seen what the work he does and the people we've built working together. Right. It's like, no way. I would have no life.
No life.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, it would kill your photography career. You'd be on the phone like, hey, I need these hang tags. I need fucking these shirts. But not only that,
the biggest thing too is like collections.
Yeah.
People buy your stuff. I made sales.
Right.
Now you got to get that money from people.
Totally.
And I knew whatever deal I was going to sign for this, it's like, this is an opportunity. It could be an opportunity for me to like change my life around.
Yeah.
I'm leaving adult. I don't know what I want to do other than I want to take pictures.
Right.
And you're working with friends.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, to go with someone I went to high school with.
Yeah.
Skated. We do other things. It's like, I don't have to, like, I'm not going to stress you the same way I would a guy who's just like, this is our deal. I'm like, okay, how do I know what's legit or not?
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So again, it kind of started from Primitive, but then he was like, he saw the potential in it. He left day-to-day operations at Primitive to work with me. And then eventually to the point when Visual got to, you know, where it needed to be, he's like, okay, I'm going to sell my shares and move on.
He sold his shares of Primitive?
Primitive.
Oh.
Really?
So he's like, part of Visual. He's no longer part of Primitive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
You know, so for me, he was just like, look, I know production. I know all this stuff, logistics. I'm like, great. Let me focus on this. You do that. We come together.
Right. Without you, there wouldn't be anything. Without him, there wouldn't be anything.
Exactly. 100%.
Perfect marriage.
100%. So that's how it worked out. And then like from there, it's like, it's been growing. It's been good. It's been 3 years this month, actually.
I see it everywhere, man. I think
you guys are killing
it.
It's a slow process, you know. And I see what's going on outside of the world. But, and then I think as a photographer, it's fun to be able to share your work. You know, like the idea of this day and age of selling prints for hundreds of dollars or whatever. It's far few in between. Yeah. You know, a $30 T-shirt. Hey, like. You want to wear my work?
A little more affordable. Yeah.
Right.
Affordable. And it's like, you know, but the idea too, you know, you hang a picture up, it's sitting in your living room. Not many people see it. You wear a T-shirt, you go out, everyone sees it.
But I'm sure a lot of people have hit you up about prints and stuff, right?
I'll do prints once in a while.
Sick.
It's fun, you know.
Do you do prints on like your website that you can just order?
I'll just run them at my studio. Then like, hey, I got some prints. You want to buy them? They're there, you know.
Dope. How much would you sell a print for?
It all depends. I mean, starting from 50, I've sold them up to like just through my website, like 250.
Do you sign the prints?
Sign, number them. They're limited.
Did the girls sign them?
I've done some stuff with girls signing, but I think for me, it's like as a photographer, it's like you want your work to be based on you, not on like, oh, this girl signed it. You know.
Well, when we do our little photo shoot,
it. Yeah, he's signing it.
Yeah, I'll do a little
lipstick kiss on there or something.
You know,
like,
yeah.
Pasties on the nipple,
you know, like, whatever, man. I mean, I don't want to get flagged on Instagram. We'll put little pasties on there.
Yeah, we'll run it.
You know, we want it to be this way. This is going to be a classy shoot, Raj. Okay,
yeah.
I'm telling you, man, this is going to be huge.
Yeah.
So going back to the
photo stuff,
the chicks, because it must be. Are you getting tired of it?
Not tired, but more selective.
More selective.
So it's all, like there's girls who genuinely bring like an artistic expression through modeling.
Right.
And there's girls who just like, let me put a thong on, let me turn my butt to your lens and shoot. Yeah, I can do that. That's easy.
But you're like, to them, you're like, I'm a photographer. Like, well, I want to do something.
I want to push myself.
Right.
Yeah. You know, like you skate. You don't want to just get by on the same shit. You're
so
like,
you decided to hang out of a helicopter.
Why not?
Yeah.
Who's done that?
Dude, can I go on a helicopter ride with you?
Yeah, I'll get you a helicopter ride.
I've always wanted to go on a helicopter ride.
I'll get you one.
Never. No, with you.
Oh, yeah, we'll go together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that must be sick, though, dude. To fly in a helicopter.
Oh, it's amazing. It's so addicting. Like, I did it, and the guy that I fly with out here is great.
What's this copter pilot or something?
Yes,
yeah. So I want to get on a chopper flight with a naked bitch next to me. Can we do that? Can we make that happen?
We'll have to be strapped in because
cool.
He lost his license on the flight that I did with that girl.
No way.
For real.
She had no harness on. That's very illegal.
He got busted from the photo?
Well, because there's like those serial numbers on the helicopter, like in the central console, got busted. I was getting emails from like the FAA or whatever.
No
like,
way, really?
Yeah, and I was like, we want to talk to you. I was like, I'm not talking to you guys.
From your
That
Instagram.
sucks.
But because he wanted to be credited.
Oh, he did.
He wanted
Right.
that. I did this. I flew that.
Can he
No,
get it
he's
back?
he's getting it back.
Okay,
He's
so
in the
he was
process. In the next few months, he'll have it back.
So maybe he was suspended.
No,
right?
it was fully revoked.
Fully revoked.
So now he's getting it back.
So
Wow.
I guess you have to wait like what, a year maybe or something.
He's
like,
been but what he did, he still brokers flights to other pilots. So
Okay.
and he goes in. So
Okay.
he's always there.
Did you feel bad for that happening? Or
I
did you
felt bad.
talk?
I felt bad, but he knew what he was doing. He could have said, "Look, do this flight. Don't tag me. Don't at me.
Right.
Blur the numbers."
Right.
He didn't say it. He's like, "I want to be tagged." He was bummed when we put the YouTube video up that he wasn't credited as like the pilot.
Oh my
my
god.
gosh.
So did you talk to him about it when it was going on? Were you like, "Yo, bro, chopper"?
It was all
pilot,
his
man.
idea.
But were you talking about it when the whole thing was going? Were you like, "Dude, like, fuck, what do
No,
we
he
do?"
wasn't
Like-
stressing me. He was just like saying like, "Here's the deal. Like these guys are pressing me. Will you testify?" I'm like whatever. Like, give a statement. I'm like, I'm down with you, but I'm not gonna lie to a government
Right.
agency.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
But like I'm not gonna say anything at the same time. Like plead the fifth.
1, 2, 4, 5, 5.
Exactly.
Was she hanging out of the chop? What was she
She
doing?
had there's seat belts, like basic car seat belt kind of
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
We would fly. Okay, we're coming up on downtown.
Right.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready. Unhook and start posing.
Was it sketchy at all? Were you like,
There-
this
there's
bitch,
one- there's one-
this chick could fall out of the fucking helicopter?
Not until
right
we
now.
landed did I realize that like that would have been really fucked if she would have fell out.
Like, I could have ended up on fucking CNN tonight.
Yeah.
Like,
Seriously.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it became this whole thing where it's like, okay,
Model
from
falls on the
from
pier.
now on, when we shoot with models, we need like a clause of like, I'm not responsible for if they sprain their ankle.
Right. Man, coming from the porn and doing your own
And,
thing.
that's been the most amazing thing is like
Yeah.
transferring from that world to this. So it's like people don't even know that I did that.
Yeah.
And it's the funniest thing. And it's like, it's great in its own right. But it's like so funny because it's like the people who really maybe like saw like what I was doing or through social media, you were able to kind of follow the story. Like, like what I came from. And
Right.
Do you ever miss it?
No.
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 You never
like,
like sit back and like, fuck, man, I wish I can relive that one day.
No, because at the end of the day, I was still working for a company and trying to do stuff for a company versus now it's like
It was a job.
Yeah.
I get to do what I want.
Yeah.
Like if I choose to go out today and I want to go walk around downtown for a few hours and shoot,
Yeah.
I want to go hang out with you guys and do a podcast, I can do it.
Right.
I want to go.
What's
shoot
like a daily routine for you?
Well, I was just gonna ask, like, how, like,
it really varies. Like,
but you've been doing a lot of like city shots.
yeah,
and,
well,
like-
expanding. It's like again, I hate to be a broken record. Going back to skating, it's like
Right.
you don't want to stay doing the same shit.
Of
You
course.
kind of
I
want
love all the aerial shit you've been doing.
Yeah,
lately.
you
well,
wanna
the
try
aerial
different-
shit, but not to mention just the shit of like the downtown stuff, and
Yeah,
like,
like
I'm just
Dodger
wondering, like,
Stadium
do you
and-
just do you just wander around,
Yeah,
or do you just
well,
drive
well,
around and
well,
be like,
for-
whoa,
for-
that would be a great fucking
For the
shot.
street stuff, it could be like I'll take the train from North Hollywood, the subway, and go downtown, and
Okay.
get off, walk around
Yeah,
for 3 or 4 hours, and see what I see, shoot what I shoot, and then okay, cool. Like
but are you going down there like by yourself at
yeah,
night?
by myself.
Okay.
That was the beauty.
Do you ever
of-
get sketched out? Because downtown sometimes
No.
could be a little seedy
I
in
try
some
to be
places.
pretty low key,
Do you
but
bring
it's
a
like
skateboard or?
no walk. I thought about skating, and I've tried it a few times, but skating you kind of go past stuff pretty quickly. You might
Yeah.
miss something. To me, what I tried team sports growing up, I hated it.
Yeah.
The beauty of skating was independence. You walk outside your door, you can do whatever you
For
want.
sure.
Like there's no rules.
Yeah.
Photography felt the same way. You
Right.
walk outside with your camera, it's like whatever the fuck you want to shoot or whatever you do, like that's what you want to do. And so I love that balance. So it's like I
Right.
try to carry that on where it's like, okay, I just feel like doing this today. Like I'm gonna do that. You know,
Yeah.
you want to skate Beebles Park, you'll skate his park. You want to go
That's
skate
it.
street,
Yeah.
you'll skate street.
That's
and
it.
like that's
Yeah.
Totally.
that's
Oh.
how I treat it.
If I want to chill on my couch, I chill on my couch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, you wait for that kind of inspiration.
Right,
You know, it's like
right.
I feel like doing something today. Let's go do it.
So
Yeah.
do you ever shoot with film? You
Yes.
ever oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah, I've been recently. I've been venting to my friends where it's like obviously we could all follow Instagram, and Instagram's this crazy thing where it's exposed all of us to amazing photos.
Yeah.
With digital now, like the younger kids, like, and I don't know if it's with skating. You look at younger kids, like you guys get it, but you don't get it. I see photographers. It's like it's not about like the content within your image. It's like how dramatically can you edit it.
Yeah.
Your skies turn to purples and they turn to oranges and
But
reds.
some people
and-
overdo it.
they
Right.
overdo it, but that's what Instagram is
Yeah.
for a lot of photographers. It's like how intensely can you edit it?
Yeah.
And I look
Right.
at that, I'm like, I feel like it's fake. I feel like I'm in
Yeah.
the Matrix where it's like
You shouldn't have to do any.
I feel like shooting film is like that pill that brings you to reality.
Yeah.
Shooting digital
You can't
is
fuck
that
with it.
fucking other
Yeah.
one, and it's like I've been shooting film, and like I grew up looking at film, like whether it was Spike Jonze's photos or Lance Mountain's or whoever's, and it's like you saw it, and it was like that's what it was.
Yeah.
But now it's like you can alter shit so intensely that it's like, is this even a real image at this point?
And I feel like anybody can pick up a camera these days and learn the basics and shoot a couple digital photos. Yeah. Right? I mean, even with
film is fun because of that traditionalism of like your creativity. You have to imagine what you're shooting. You have to think about what it's going to look like.
And you have to learn the light meters and all this shit. Yeah, it's a huge...
But at the end of the day, you have a tangible item, which is like this film strip. You know, like... I've shot tons of digital images and they're on a hard drive, and it's like there is this fucked up mentality of like which is more real.
It's funny because like you look at you look at Diamond, right? And Diamond is skateboarding, but I think like a lot of the world for a while there didn't know that Diamond was skateboarding. You know what I mean? And I'm sure people that follow you and enjoy your work like have no idea that you come from the skateboarding world.
That in 1996, I switched tray flipped into the Pond at Courthouse. And I have video footage of it on YouTube.
Yeah. Switch tray into that fucking thing?
96.
That's
around Gideon Choi.
That's pretty good.
I went there every weekend for a month to get it, and I got it.
Dude. How does every conversation end with the courthouse?
Because the courthouse in LA, that was our Embarcadero.
I know. Shit. Yeah, you should Instagram that.
I probably should. I think I have the clip somewhere on a drive somewhere.
Yeah, it's fucking dope, dude. And I love that you're just doing it yourself and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, fuck all this distributions shit.
No, I mean, like, I saw that world, and it's great to do it on your own. And for me, it's like I live in the reality. It could last 5 years. It could last 10 years. But as long as I have fun doing it, figure out if it comes to an end at some point, figure out the next thing. Right. Like I honestly was so hyped to be here. I'm a fan of the show, fan of what you do. Thanks.
We're a fan of what you do.
Yeah.
Like I know everyone's trying to do podcasts to do shows, but like seeing the first episode, like, dude, I was driving so bad as an adult, but watching your episode with Louis, like driving, like.
Was that the first episode you watched? Was Louis?
No, man. I saw it from Kelly's. But every episode, I saw Daniel's.
Yeah.
I saw Joey's. I saw Louis. So every day when I see a new episode up, I fucking click it because, again, it goes back to skating. Fan of what you guys do. It's fun.
Yeah.
There's no fucking contrivedness. It's fucking rad.
Totally. But the great thing now is you could download it on iTunes and listen to the podcast.
I love what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we're a fan. We're a fan too. Yeah. We're definitely a fan. I've known you for a long time, and it's nice to see friends
killing it,
succeeding. Yeah, I love it.
And I know I'm not skating every day like everyone else that's on the show, but I come from skateboarding.
You ripped, dude.
So thank you so much for having me on here,
dude. Thanks for coming, dude.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be on the show. Keep up the great work. You guys are killing it, so this is a good thing. Keep it going.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Thanks.
How many cards do we fill up?
$30.
Yeah, but I had to do it. I needed it.
This dude paid $30 for used panties.
People call me like C-Rob.
Could that turn into Crob?
Crob. No, totally.
It's Crob.
People say Crob all the time too.